we are going to pull a harness from a Mark III. This is a VR6, but this video will be applicable to ABAs and the TDIs that you'll find in your Mark IIIs. This will also roughly translate to Corrados or the B3, B4 Passats as well. There will be a couple differences there, but for the most part, it's the same. So anyway, the downside to Mark IIIs is the firewall forward harness that you need includes the lighting and everything else. It's kind of a pain to pull. It's a little easier with two people, so you can have somebody on the fuse box side, but it's not necessary. You're going from the twist lock connector, which will be the same on whether it's a gas or a diesel. They'll be a little different size, but you're going from the twist lock connector. You're going to have to unhook your fan control module. The lighting then runs up and has another twist lock connector right underneath the hood support there, or the hood latch rather. The ECU is tucked up in the rain tray. It runs along this little cover here and then jumps into the rain tray right there by the fresh air intake. So you'll want to pull that out of the rain tray. You don't have to remove the wiper motor. This one's already out. And then that whole bundle ends up going through the firewall through one grommet right there. And then I'll go inside here in a minute and we'll unhook everything and start pushing it through. All right, branching off of this ECU section is going to be your O2 sensors, rear knock sensor, and your MAF and EVAP. These are going to be tucked over here in this passenger side. Beyond that is an AC pressure switch, the leak detection pump, and outside air temp. If you're pulling this in a junkyard and you're not going to be using air conditioning and stuff like that, you can cut this back here. Just make sure that you're obviously not cutting off your MAF or your N80 valve there. Okay, so we've dropped the fuse box down out of its holder, and this is what a cluster looks like. You basically are just going to start unplugging this fuse box, and it'll come out a little better once you get the body out of the way. Just to unplug these plugs out of the back of the fuse box, you've got to release this little tab here. It's got to be pushed out so that it's no longer flush with the outside. After that, all of these things will just start unclipping, so unclip all of them. Okay, our fuse box is now on the ground. This is not looking any better. It looks terrible. Back here, this is the firewall, and I got this dash out. You don't have to have the dash out to pull this. This just makes it easier for you guys to see what's going on. This is the clump that we're looking for to pull out. There are a few loose connectors in the harness that need to be undone, and this is where it is helpful to have a helper or someone to stand on the other side of the firewall and just keep a little pressure on this, and then someone inside the car can tuck and start pushing the connectors through this hole, because they won't all fit through at one time. So you kind of just have to feed them through a piece at a time. And then I'll show you what it looks like when we get it out. Okay, we got our harness pretty much all in a straight line now. These wonderful Mark IIIs are a tangled mess. But if you're by yourself, the easiest thing to do is, once you've got it in a straight line and starting to head out of this grommet, pull it until you get some of these loose connectors right up to the firewall, and then just start popping them through with your finger. And then once you've got all this, these are about 6 to 8 inches away from the actual fuse box plugs. Once you kind of get all of the short ones through, obviously go back out into the engine bay again and pull it till you get right up to the fuse box connections, and then stuff them through. Some of the relay holders, you may have to wait till the very end to get them through. They're kind of big, but I'll have it out in a minute. Okay, there it is, whole 85 feet of it. One section you couldn't see in the video real well was this section right here. On a VR6, it's kind of underneath the intake manifold. You had secondary air, AC coolant temp, and knock sensor, crank sensor, AC connection, starter, alternator, exciter, and reverse switch. This is kind of tucked where you couldn't see it, but it comes right off of the main branch once it comes out of the firewall there. There's your twist lock connector, fan control module. If you're shipping this to me, sell your fan control module, don't send it to me. This is up in the wiper area, AC ambient air temp, wiper controls, alarm horn, heated wiper nozzles, coolant reservoir, brake reservoir. I think that's the hood latch or evap, HVAC vacuum solenoid there. But this is all of the stuff that was inside the car. This car was fully loaded. It had power mirrors or power windows. This was in a convertible. It had ABS, so there was a lot of extra wire in the engine bay itself and underneath the dash. It's important when you're sending this in, especially if you're doing some sort of a CE2 conversion, that these white plugs here, this is pretty much your motor management harness section right here. The rest of this, a lot of it's going to be deleted. I may do a follow-up video and show you what's left of it when we're done. Battery, power, ignition power, and a ground source. But that's basically what you're sending versus what you're getting back. All right, guys, here's the harness that we pulled out of that Mark III. And then here is what you would be getting back. This would be for a CE2, like a Mark II 90 to 92. It has your fuse box plugs, tack adapter, and then this is just your motor management. That's all that's left. And then this is a Mark I version, or early Mark II. It's got relays here, fusible links, ECUs controlling your fuel pump. It's got a lead for powered fuel pump, again controlled by the ECU, but it is just motor management. All you need is